Hello people, this is Christian and you're welcome back to the Don't Have channel. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can connect your Node.js application to MySQL Workbench. Okay, so first of all, you have to get Node.js installed on your machine, and also you have to get MySQL Workbench properly installed on your machine. So if you don't have, you can come here and download them and go through simple installation. Okay, so I'll leave the link down below. You can come here and download it depending on the operating system. All right, so once you are done installing these two, now we can move on. All right, so let's open our command prompt. Okay, and let's first create a folder on our desktop. So I'm just going to name it app. Okay, so app, and in my command prompt I'm going to navigate to the app. So desktop first and then app, right? And then here we are just going to create our project. So npm init, okay, and press enter. It's going to take some few minutes. So they are asking of the name, so we want to maintain the app. All right, the version, we want to maintain it. Any description, so let's say connecting MySQL to Node.js app. Okay, so this is just a description. I want to use app.js. Any test command, no. Any repository, no. Any keyword, no. Author is Nodejs Christian. Okay, let me type it. Good. And then any lances, so we press enter. So now let's open it. So in our VS Code, so code spacebar dot, okay, and press enter. It's going to open it for you. And once you are done opening, we want to also install other stuffs. Okay, so let's type in npm install express. Okay, so now let's also install MySQL. All right, press enter. All right, so once you are done installing, let's go to our VS Code. So this is how it looks. So we are first going to create our app.js file. Good, and let's set up our application. Okay, so let's set up our server. So const, and then let's call it express, and then require. We're going to import our express here. Good, and then we are going to use our express to create our app. Okay, so const app express. Good, and also we are going to listen to our app, and the port is going to be port 3000. Okay, or let's say port 5000, and then let's give it a callback function, and inside here let's log an information so we know that our app is running. Okay, so app is running on port 3000 or 5000. We use 5000 instead. Okay, so now let's give it a route. So app.get, oops, great, and let's use our request and response here. Good, and then here let's just type in res.send. Let's say hello. Okay, just to know we are on it. So now let's save it and open our terminal. So terminal, new terminal here. Good, so I'm going to use nodemon. Okay, if you don't have nodemon installed, you can just type in npm install nodemon. Okay, then dash global. Okay, just to install it global for you. Okay, so once you are done, you can just type in nodemon and then the server file. Okay, so app.js, that's the actual server file. You click on it, it says app is running on port 5000. And now let's go to our web browser. Let's type in localhost port 5000. Let's press enter. So we are getting hello here, which means our server, we've been able to set up our server side. Okay, so now let's go back, and then here what you have to now do is create a folder here. So utils, and inside this folder we are going to create our connection to our web bench. Okay, so let's say connection or connect MySQL. So MySQL, okay, .js. So connect MySQL.js, and inside here we are going to import our package we installed earlier on. So MySQL, okay, so require MySQL here. All right, so once you are done importing it, we can now type in connection here. Okay, so connection, and then here we will use our import model, and then we are going to tap into create connections. Okay, so here we are going to pass in a couple of styles here. So the host, let's leave it blank here. We are going to use the user tool, let's leave it empty here. We are going to use password as well, let's leave it empty here. And then we are also going to use this database. Okay, good. So now let's save it here, and then let's try and then export it. So let's export this module. So exports, we're going to export the connection. Okay, great. And then now let's open our workbench. Okay, so I'll type MySQL workbench. Oops, good. So all right, so I'm using the root connection as you can see here, and then it's localhost. Okay, so let's click on it. They're asking for password. Okay, so my password I'll type in here, and this same password is what I'm going to provide in the project. Okay, so remember here, so let me first type it here before I even forget it. So this is my password. Okay, so here I have a schema here, which is testdb. So this is a schema or the database I'm going to use. Okay, so let me go here, let me type it here, testdb. All right, and then here the user I'm using, as I showed you earlier on, root, and then here was localhost. Okay, so localhost, good. Let's save it. So now we are going to create a table, okay, for this schema. So let's create a table, and the table name is going to be, let me say, students. Okay, so students, and then student will have an ID. So let me say ID, and then so let me give it name. Okay, and then the last one is going to be age. All right, the age is an integer, so I'm going to change it to integer. Not now. And then here auto increment for the ID. Okay, and once we are done, we can come down here and click on apply, and then click on apply here. Good. So as you can see, we've been able to. So now let's go here. Let me come here, let me click on table, and then let's go to this small icon here, which is used to view the table content. So here is empty, right? So as you can see, here is empty. Let's try and add some stuff here. So I'm going to add some students here. I'll add my name first. So Christian. All right, let me try and expand this small. So Christian, and then oops, here's the ID session. Sorry. So the ID 1. Then here is Christian. Okay. Nice. And then the age. So I'm just going to type in any rough age here. Yeah. Don't worry. And then here, let me add in a couple of names here. Let me say Abuaji Fafa. Okay. Abuaji Fafa. Oops. Nice. And the age. Oh, for first age, I'll actually type the correct one. Okay. And then let me add Gmails. Okay. And then let me try and get some age for him. Actually, I don't know his age. And then let me add a female. Okay. So let me give a shout out to a female. Which name? Okay. So I just got a name here. Emmanuel Usora. Emmanuela Lamte. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me add in say 21. Okay. And once I'm done, I will just click on apply down here and apply. All right. So now let's go here and then click OK. So we've been able to input some stuffs, items in our table. Okay. So now let's go back to our project and let's try and query those names. Okay. So here, first of all, we have to import our connection. Okay. So connection. Oops. Require. So you go to utils, then my connection. Okay. And then here we are just going to call the connection. Okay. So first of all, you have to connect by now. Once you are done connecting, oops, good. And then once you are done connecting, we can now make some queries. Okay. So we have to first get our query. Okay. So let's go back to here, and then I'm just going to copy this. All right. Copy. Let's paste it right here. Good. And then here we are going to call the connection again. So connection.query. Okay. And then here we are going to pass in our query here. And then we are going to check if there is error. Then we get it from the error. If there is no error, we get our results. Okay. As a callback function. So we are going to check if error. Then log the error. Okay. But if there is no error, what you're going to do is you're just going to send the results to the front end side. Okay. Results. Oops. Great. I think that's it for now. Let me delete this. Okay. Good. So let's save it. And now let's go to our web browser. Now let's run this again, and what we expect is the data we input or we insert into our test DB. Okay. So all right, this is what we got. We got Nodejs, Christian, Abuaji Fafa, we got James and Emmanuel Lamte. All right. So Emmanuel, I've just given you a shout out here. So let's go back to our application. Okay. So basically we've been able to connect successfully. Right. So let's add a last tryout to it. Okay. Let's try and then insert into the table too. Okay. So we are going to use insert into, and then we are going to insert into the student. All right. And then the value we are going to use, let me first bring the names. Sorry. So name, you want to insert into the name and age, right? And then the values, let me add one name. Okay, so whose name? Owusu Bequin Benjamin. Okay, oops, damn, why? Okay, so that's it. This is what you want to insert, and then let's save it. Let's go back to our web browser and run it and see. So let's run this, refresh, sorry, oops. So let's go and see what is happening right here. Okay, so here it says maybe we should check our syntax. All right, sorry, so we didn't pass in the age here, my bad. Okay, sorry. So Bequin is around 21. Okay, and then the name is supposed to be a string. Good, sorry, my bad. So now let's try and then refresh the page and see what comes. Okay, so we've been able to insert by giving it id 2. Okay, id 5. All right, so now let's go to our workbench, and now let's see. For now it's 5, so let's see if you get an increment. Okay, so we've gotten an increment here. That's great. So we've been able to now insert into the table as well. Okay, so that is it. This is basically how you can connect your Node.js application to your MySQL workbench. Thank you very much. But before I leave, I encountered a problem when I started, okay? And I would like to share it with you. So when you run and then you realize the error is talking about authentication stuff, let's say the blah 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 is not authorized or stuff, what you have to do is you come to your script here, and then I'm pasting this. I'm going to leave it in the description so you can just copy it and paste it, and then you have to run it. Okay, so what you are basically saying is you are altering the user. Okay, so we are using the root, the localhost, and then the password. This password is actually what we've placed in our project, okay, or our connection side. Okay, so this is the password. Okay, so once I change it to passwords, or let's say 1 2 3 4, then I have to come back here and then change it to 1 2 3 4, right? And once you're done, you can run it, and then you can flash the privileges just to reset them. Okay, and once you're done, you can run this one too, just to be able to update or insert from the workbench side too as well. Okay, so basically this is the problem I encountered. If you encounter such problem talking about authentication, unauthorized stuff, then you can copy this and paste it, and then you are good to go. Okay, bear in mind, once you run this, the next time, let's say you close this and you are opening it again, the password you need to use is this one. Okay, so this one is actually going to change the password of the entire MySQL workbench. The password, this one is going to replace that one. Okay, thank you for being with me. Once again, I'm Christian. Kindly click on the subscribe button if you haven't, and see you next.